Okay, my name is Lee Kilpatrick. I'm the Developer Programs Manager at Atlassian, and I am your MC today for the Platforms and API track. I'm really pleased to have Louis Lepper here for his talk. He gave this talk at Atlas Camp and has updated it here in the last 6 months, so I'm excited to see the changes. And it was one of the best talks we had there, so without further ado.
Robots. Everybody is excited about a robot-powered, automated future. We have Google making self-driving cars, Boston Dynamics, who are making robots that can walk just like we can. And in Japan, robots are being made to assist the aging population. These are projects that take code and put it into things that interact with us in the real world. All of these projects are innovative and inspiring, but as time goes on, this is because as we are putting in effort to bring machines into our world, we are also moving more and more into the machines world. And in the machines world, all the automation that we dream about with robotics is already at our fingertips. This is where we excel at Atlassian. All of our software brings your work into the machines world. And in a world where we live in software, automation is here right now, and not science fiction. So today, I'm going to talk you through 3 key areas. First, the automation opportunity that exists within the Atlassian ecosystem. Then, I'm going to talk to you about why cloud, specifically, is especially advantageous for this kind of work, leading into the great cloud ecosystem opportunity. Right now, what do we think of when we think of Atlassian add-ons? Right now, we think of add-ons in terms of products. So when a developer comes along and says, I'm going to build an Atlassian add-on, they'll often look at Jira. And so we have these great Jira plugins, like Big Template, Draw.io, Enterprise Mail Handler, and many others. And for Confluence, we have great plugins like Composition, once again, Draw.io, Glyphy, Lucidchart, and others. And for HipChat, we have many other great plugins like TopDocs, Salesforce, Image Editor, and others. All of these add-ons are great add-ons. They bring a lot of value to our customers, but most of them only interact with a single product. Or in the case where they can be installed in multiple products, they don't have any cross-product interactions. So that means that when a developer says, oh, I'm going to make an add-on for Jira, they're limiting themselves to Jira's API. Things like making an issue, transitioning an issue, adding comments, adding attachments, notifying people, and voting. It means that when a developer says, I'm going to make a Confluence add-on, they're restricting themselves to the Confluence API, making pages, blogs, receiving data from macros, and creating attachments. And for HipChat, it's the same, sending messages to people, to rooms, and reacting to messages. When you're developing software, the APIs and services that are available to you are your bread and butter. Anything that there isn't an API for, you need to write yourself. Looking over these capabilities like this might not seem that interesting, but what I'm trying to get across is that your plugin is the sum of the work you put in multiplied by the existing product APIs that you can take advantage of. Something like this. The effort you spend in development multiplied by the sum of product capabilities, meaning the APIs and ecosystem you have access to, is equal to your add-on's potential. So if you develop your add-on across multiple products, then the number of APIs and services that you get for free increases dramatically and can greatly add to the functionality of your add-on. This means that we need to take a step back. Instead of limiting ourselves to APIs provided by a single Atlassian product, we need to look at what the Atlassian ecosystem as a whole provides us with. If you missed James Bryant's talk yesterday, I highly recommend you check it out once it's uploaded to YouTube. In it, he talks about how building on a platform allows you to focus on a great core experience for the problem that you are trying to solve, without being distracted by basic features that can be delegated to existing products. So, what is possible? Let's take a look at an example. Signs by Charlie. Signs by Charlie are a business that prints posters and signs. Before they started automating their work, their main process looked something like this. First, a customer had to email their design. Then, a worker had to download that design. After that's finished, they had to get up from their desk and look for a free printer. And after that, they had to go back to their computer and send the design to that printer. And wait. And eventually, the printer would finish printing, and then they'd have to go back to their computer and find that customer's details. Then they'd have to print the customer's details, print out the address label, package the item and attach the label, and send the package. Now, I'm not sure about you, but as a software developer, going through that makes me twitchy. I don't want to work at this company. I haven't covered all of the steps either. We still need to make an invoice and send a confirmation back to the customer. How can we make an Atlassian add-on that leverages multiple Atlassian products to make this process better? Let's start with Service Desk. Instead of having our customers email in their designs, let's have them upload it through the customer portal. At this stage, our add-on can automatically kick in and make an invoice in Confluence. Then, using the Printers API, it can automatically check to see which printers are available and then send the design to the next available printer. Throughout this whole process, our add-on is able to update the service desk ticket in real time, so both we and the customer know exactly what's going on. Once the item has been printed, our add-on can print an address label, and then HipChat can send a message to an available staff member so that whatever they're doing, they can know that an item needs to be picked up and where the label is. From this point on, their job is extremely easy. All they need to do is package, label, and send. We have taken a process that looks like this, and we've turned it into this. Awesome. Once it's been sent, the worker can respond on HipChat, and our add-on will automatically update the service desk ticket. Signs by Charlie have gained a streamlined process, where previously their workers had to wait at many steps. This has also removed frustrations, and it saved Signs by Charlie time and money. Because it's built on Jira Service Desk, we also get built-in audit logging and records for free, history that cannot be tampered with. Everything I've talked about so far applies to both cloud and server, but Atlassian Cloud has some unique attributes that make add-ons far more powerful in cloud. So I'm going to talk to you about why cloud wins. Now, I know when I say that I hear a lot of apprehension coming from the audience. I know many of you are still server customers, and you raise valid points, like many of you are worried about the cost and effort of running your own service for each add-on you want to make. And many of you are also concerned about the fact that, admittedly, in cloud, we have less support for fine-grained modification of product. Well, we hear you, and we've been actively building tools that make creating and running a service easier, like Atlassian Connect Express, and Atlassian Connect Spring Boot, templates that make it really easy to get started for a Java or a Node.js JavaScript add-on. My colleague Klaus Eilberg says serverless technologies make it easy to build Connect add-ons without maintaining servers yourself. If you're concerned about maintaining servers for your cloud add-ons, I highly suggest you check out his talk. It was yesterday, so you can check it out once it's been uploaded. His talk was saving money by optimizing your cloud add-on infrastructure. So what about the second point, the less support for fine-grained modification of product? Well, although this may seem like a disadvantage, it actually brings with it a number of positive attributes. Firstly, stability. Server-based add-ons for Jira and Confluence run on the Java virtual machine. This means that a badly coded add-on can slow down or completely crash your instance. It also means that your data is vulnerable. You have to trust that a server add-on is not going to inspect and manipulate confidential data, and that it's been written well enough to not affect your server. This brings us on to the second point, security. Cloud-based add-ons have permission scopes that allow you to restrict what kind of operations an add-on can perform. Each cloud add-on also operates as a specific add-on user, meaning if there's confidential data that you don't want to be leaked, you can take steps to restrict it from add-ons. These two features, security and stability, are important because they mean that your system administrator can have a low barrier of entry for installing plugins. They know that the plugin cannot make your product unstable, and they can restrict what data it can see. This means that if 2 of your employees are frustrated with the process that they have to do every day, they can make an add-on for it. And it's no longer such a big deal for your system administrator to just install that add-on. You also get easy code deployment, meaning you can easily apply a bug fix immediately. And you get the choice of any language and platform. The security, stability, code deployment, and language and platform choice characteristics of cloud are great, but we still haven't reached cloud's killer feature. Take a moment to remember back to what I was saying about how you can leverage multiple Atlassian products to create a more powerful add-on. Cloud's killer advantage is that on the internet, you have an infinite-sized ecosystem where you can integrate with any tool relevant to your task. Every API your add-on has at its disposal greatly extends the capabilities of your add-on. And on the internet, there are countless APIs for any service you could ever need. Let's have a look at how you can leverage Atlassian products along with the wider internet ecosystem to create really powerful add-ons. Here's an example. Software by Charlie. Software by Charlie are a cloud software company. And they have services that they need to ensure are up all of the time. But no software is perfect. And downtime is an unfortunate reality for any internet service. What's important is reacting to outages and reacting to them quickly. Internet companies have a number of different ways of detecting outages. The first and best way is in-product error detection and reporting, where your own software is monitoring anything that could go wrong and alerts you when it does. Sometimes, however, an outage or some errors may slip past this, and your customer may raise a request with you through your support channel. Sometimes, however, an issue will also slip past your support channel. And the first time that you find out that something is wrong with your product might be from Twitter. So what can an Atlassian add-on do to help with this situation? We can use these 3 mechanisms. We can make an add-on that takes data from these 3 channels, and these 3 channels, Twitter, your support channel, and your in-product error detection, and we can use that to alert your support team. Let's take a look at what a Twitter workflow could look like. Let's say you're a startup based here, in Silicon Valley, but a large number of your customers are based in Europe. As you're going to sleep here in Silicon Valley, your European customers are just waking up, and something goes wrong with your service. Messages start coming in on Twitter, but no one is awake, and your internal systems have failed to detect this outage. This is where our add-on kicks in. First, it uses the public Twitter API to fetch all tweets relating to Software by Charlie. Then, it filters out unrelated and positive tweets. And finally, it can check the remaining tweets for words that would indicate an outage. If there are enough of these tweets, it can raise an alert. First, it will automatically update your status page. Letting your customers know that something is amiss and that you're looking into it goes a long way to reassuring them. Then, our add-on makes a Jira ticket to track this outage, and it starts populating a Confluence page that contains all of the information about this outage that our add-on knows about. Now we have a ticket to track this outage, and we've gathered information, but everyone in California is still asleep. This is where an external service comes in. We can use Twilio to programmatically make a call to our support staff. Let's take a listen.
Hello, this is your automated outage detection system. A potential outage has been detected. 20 unique tweets mention Software by Charlie. Press 1 if you are able to investigate. Press 2 for more information. Thank you.
Then, if your on-call support person is available, our add-on automatically moves the outage Jira ticket into in progress. If not, the add-on can continue ringing a list of people until someone answers. Once your support staff have fixed the issue, they can resolve the Jira ticket and give an explanation. At that stage, our add-on will forward that explanation back to status page and resolve the incident that we added to status page. Now that it's over, our add-on can also make a post-incident report, or a template for a post-incident report that contains all of the information that it gathered about the incident. Software by Charlie gained an automated, auditable, trackable, outage management and detection system that automatically calls on-call individuals and collects relevant information to ensure that once an outage happens, it doesn't happen again. How do we find these tasks that can be automated? Thankfully, these tasks are right in front of you. When you find yourself at your desk doing some tedious, repetitive task, stop and think. Can it be automated? Now that you have your task, how difficult will it be to automate? Well, if your task isn't 100% specific to your business, a good first step is to check out the Atlassian marketplace. We have many third-party vendors bringing out new add-ons for many solutions every day. But don't despair if it's not there, because Atlassian Connect is easier than ever, and an add-on that's tailored to your particular workflow can give you an edge over competitors. So how do we know if a task is suitable? A good first step is to break down the task into individual actions. To make this concrete, let's think of an example. Imagine you're in IT support, and as your company is growing larger, you're getting lots of reset password requests over the phone. The reset password request is your task. And this task is comprised of 3 actions: resetting the password, verifying the user's identity, and giving the user their new password. For the first action, resetting the password, we can use an internal system. I'm assuming that your business has the ability to programmatically reset a user's password. The second step still has to be a manual task. We need a human to make sure that the person who wants to reset their password is the person they claim to be. For the third step, giving the user their password, we can use Jira Service Desk. Because 2 of the 3 actions that comprise this task can rely on existing services, I think that the reset password request is a suitable candidate for automation. But let's take a look at another example, making and sending out press releases. This is, as far as I can tell, this would be a 3-step process. Gathering noteworthy changes, writing a press release about those changes, and sending the press release out. For the first step, I can envisage a situation in which we could use Jira. We could make sure we label important issues that need to go out in a particular press release and collect them at the end of the day. But the second action, writing the press release, would have to be self-made. I don't know of a service that writes press releases for you. And the third action, sending the press release out, would also have to be self-made. Because two of the 3 of the actions that are part of this task can't rely on external services, there will be a significant amount of work in designing and creating this system. For this reason, I think that making and sending out press releases is not quite yet ready for automation. Maybe someday. In contrast, let's take another look at Signs by Charlie. Their process is receiving, printing, and sending a customer's design. So their actions are receiving the design, printing the customer address on a label, and packaging and sending the item. Let's take a look at these one by one. For receiving the design, we rely on Jira Service Desk, as I showed in the previous slides. For printing the design, we rely on the Printers API. Same for printing the customer's address. Packaging and sending is a manual task. A manual task obviously isn't as good as something that we can automate, but in this case, the business would have had to have done this anyway, without the task. So for these reasons, because 3 out of the 4 actions that comprise this task can be delegated to external services, I think that Signs by Charlie's process is a good candidate for automation. Knowing whether a task is automatable often requires you to be familiar with the features and APIs available in our products. If you know them, you'll be more likely to spot the next task that matches a given feature. So next time you're using one of our products, think about the general actions that it's helping you to complete. It will help you spot a task with appropriate automatable actions. Your add-on could be small, large, it could control a small process in your organization, or it could control every process in your organization. You could be doing something as simple as creating specification pages from Jira tickets tailored to your business. Alternatively, you could be making the most complicated system in the world. You could be running Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Do you think his Oompa Loompas take care of everything? I don't think so. Willy Wonka uses Jira. Back in the real world, you could be using an add-on to publish documentation associated with each release of your software. At Atlassian, we have an add-on that runs as Ship It Days, the company-wide hackathon that we run every 3 months. We publish that to the marketplace. You can check it out. To recap, first I told you about the Atlassian ecosystem opportunity. The fact that when you leverage multiple Atlassian products, you can create far more powerful add-ons to automate many processes in your business. Then I talked to you about why cloud wins with its stability. Think carefully about the tasks that you and your colleagues complete during the day. Think about how you can automate those tasks using Atlassian and third-party software. Every task you automate is time, money, and sanity saved. Thanks.
So we have a few moments for questions here. If, any questions? Please put your hand up high if anybody. There's also I don't think anybody put any questions in the mobile apps. So
some people sometimes ask me about the distinction between manual actions and self-made actions. It's important to get an idea for when to get a computer to automate an action as opposed to when a human should carry it out. For example, when I was first thinking about the password reset request, it seemed like it would be a very, very difficult task to automate. How do you verify one of your workers' identities without a self-made system? But then I realized that with Service Desk, you can't automate all of it, but you can automate all of the parts on either side of the human interaction, and you can make the process as smooth as possible so it becomes a pleasure to do.
It was a good presentation. Is there more talk on Atlassian Connect?
On Connect?
Yeah.
I'm not so certain, actually, but you can come talk to us in the various booths.
We'll do that. Thank you.
The Marketplace booth in the Product Hub has a whole bunch of people that are happy to talk to you about Connect. And we have a whole DevRel team that will do that. We also have Atlas Camp in the spring, which is our developer conference. And that's almost majority focused on Connect as well. So we got lots of resources. There's also developer.atlassian.com as well. Any other questions? Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Louis. And we have another talk here in about 20 minutes.